WSKY SkyRock Talk Radio, where the rock don't stop. A-Town, we're on the air, and I'm your host, rocking at the speed of light, Rockin Rog. We're styling profiling limousine ride, jet flying in, Willing Dillon like no one can. So lock it in and rip that knob off of it, baby. Woo! Welcome to the place for perseverance, for passion, for purpose, for struggles and breakthroughs. The place that changes the way you live. And I am the voice behind the rock, Rockin Rog. And I say welcome to the show. This is WSKY SkyRock Talk Radio, and I'm your host, Rockin Rog. That's me. We are here to dive into setbacks that were really setups for major success stories. And how do we do that? What we'll be doing on this show is we'll be finding people, incredible people, amazing people that are exactly like you. And exactly like me, but they did a few things a little bit differently. They did a few things a little bit longer, and that is what's made them amazing. So the question is, how far are you and I from our next success story? One small decision. But before we get to the rest of our episodes, I have some incredible people lined up that we're going to be able to hear from. And I am so pumped. I've been working on this vision for a few years now. But before we get to all of that, I must say here I am recording the first episode of the SkyRock Talk Radio, and hoping I have found what I want to do as I move into the next part of my life. Meeting up with some incredible human beings and discover at what moment in their life, through incredible questioning and amazing conversations, they will take us through defining moments in their journey, their struggle, their perseverance, their passion of not looking back with regret, but focusing instead on growing, on rising, on pushing past the pain, to become better instead of bitter and living for the future. And how you and I, can apply that same mindset to our journey, to changing ourselves, and to learn to focus on the purpose on which we have been called. Because WSKY SkyRock Talk Radio is a passion project, and it's a way to give back. Because sharing our experiences of a hard time in our life is an incredible, brave thing to do. It can also be a scary thing. When we push down that hurt, or we pretend that struggle doesn't exist, that hurt and that struggle own us. But a true act of bravery, storytelling, offers others a beacon of hope. I am not alone. You are not alone. Somebody else feels these things also. And sharing with others invites them to lend us hope when we may not have the strength to find it in our own. So as we dive into these success stories and these patterns, we talk to these guests about their struggles and those defining moments that led to success. We will also apply their encouragement to our journey toward overcoming our challenges. Because as a Christian, I believe God has a gym, and it's called life. And there are times in our gym we face resistance training, where we must push through more weight or resist more weight to gain more muscle. And the same is true in God's gym called life. We have weight on us, and we must push through that weight to gain more glory. And just like we have a spotter in our gym to help us push through, to help us with those heavy weights, God has given us a spotter in our gym called life. And that spotter is called the Holy Spirit. He promised never to leave us. He promised never to forsake us, but to be our comforter and to be our stand-byer. And I am so thankful right now for the resistance training in the gym of life, because we go from faith to faith and from glory to glory. And I know I'm in a better place because behind every glory is a story. Many times we want to be like someone else or have what someone else has, but we don't know their story to receiving that glory. Within the last 10 years, I can personally say I've learned this valuable lesson in the gym of life. If you don't let your past die, it will not let you live. So let's quit looking through the rearview mirror of where we came from, and let's start looking through the windshield of our future, of where God is taking us. What I've noticed and even experienced is to achieve a great life, we must be willing to make a great sacrifice. Make up our mind and go for it mindset. We must want it. We must fight like a drowning person wanting air. We must refuse to play small. We must refuse to give up. We don't need to follow the crowd. We need to choose that road less traveled and march down that road. Because where there's a will, there's a way. So right now I say welcome to the victorious mansion where we tune in as victims and we become victors. There is no exercise better in the gym of life and for the heart than reaching down and lifting people up. We are never the only one hurting. We are never the only one that has been wounded or disappointed. But we can be. Listen to those words. We can be the one to help someone out of their hurt, their pain, their disappointment. And in doing so, we find our own hurts lifting. That's not what we have. It's what we give back. It's not what we have. It's what we give back. Taking our pain and turning that pain into a promise and moving that promise into a powerful form of expression for ourselves and for others. WSKY SkyRock Talk Radio slogan is where the rock don't stop. And that rock, it's an acronym. And it stands for reaching our community or reaching our city with kindness. This podcast, WSKY SkyRock Talk Radio, needs your attention, the attention of our listeners. The entourage of Rockin Rog needs to be born. The fans, the listeners, the donors, the supporters. We need to come together. And we need to build the strongest rockin', reaching our community, reaching our city with kindness movement that the social media in this area, your area, has ever seen. Because the more we share our story, your story, the more lives we can change. I've been reading and I've been thinking about my friends on social media who have been posting about how they feel the rug has been pulled from under them and how they feel that everything is stacked against them. We all know someone, or maybe it's just us that feel that way. We all know what we must do. We must keep moving forward, even if it seems that no one understands us or we don't feel like we can't. But most importantly, we must know that we are not alone. We cannot allow a job, we cannot allow a relationship, a bad relationship, a broken relationship to define us or determine our worth. Because no person has the power to crush us. No person has the power to make us feel unlovable unless we let them. We must live above the opinions of others. Because one thing that I try to remind myself is to land on my back when life knocks me down. Because I know that if I look up, I can get up. And I must know my why I live, why I work, why I wake up, why I do what I do. And allow that to move me forward and be larger than what I'm going through. So I can keep looking up, so I can keep moving forward. Because if I just quit, If you and I just quit, if you and I just quit grieving over our past, God knows, and God wants to show us how we can use our past to determine our future. Because from the same mouth mistakes are made is the same mouth kings and queens are born. Because before you and I were born, I believe God anticipated. He anticipated our arrival. And he had a specific plan for us. And that plan involved dealing with problems and overcoming obstacles, because that's how our character, your character, my character is developed. The mark of a successful person is his or her ability, our ability, your ability to see problems as opportunities instead of obstacles. And the most important lessons take place not whenever you and I celebrate the good times, but persevere during the bad times. That's why the bad times make the good times, look so good. Because when life knocks us down, let's get back up. Because during those difficult times, we learn some of our greatest life lessons through sheer determination and sheer perseverance. If we don't know the pain, listen to this. If we don't know the pain, we won't understand the praise of making us better instead of bitter. If we have breath in our lungs, a beat in our heart, a fire in our eyes, a passion in our soul, hunger for knowledge and strength, the time has come to declare that you have been rocked. Will you be willing? Will you be willing to become part of the SkyRock fam and to eliminate distractions and dominate your day? You've heard the story about cemeteries. Cemeteries are full of unfulfilled dreams, countless echoes of could-haves and should-haves, countless books unwritten, countless songs unsung. We should live a life, you and I should live a life in such a way that when our body, my body, your body is laid to rest, it will be a well-needed rest from a life well-lived, a song well-sung, a book well-written, a podcast, well-published, and opportunities well-explored, and a love, a kindness well-expressed. You and I have heard about the graves. Graves are filled with unfulfilled goals. Many I should have, could have, but I didn't. Many books, many songs, many podcasts, not published, not written, not sung. We all should live a well-lived life that when we pass from this life to the next life, every song is sung, every book is written, every podcast, every opportunity traveled, and we have expressed our love, our kindness, your kindness to mankind extremely well. Are you ready? Are you ready to surround yourselves with dreamers and doers, with believers and thinkers, with those who see greatness in us, in you and in me, even when we don't? WSKY SkyRock Talk Radio is ready and willing to share your story and understand what can be done to better ourselves. We don't have to be phenomenal. You don't have to be phenomenal. I don't have to be phenomenal to embark on a new adventure. This adventure, WSKY SkyRock Talk Radio. But we must first embark on that new adventure to be phenomenal. So today, for the one struggling with timing and can't understand why now isn't a good time, why can't now be the moment of healing, why can't now be the moment of breakthrough, why can't now be the moment of a miracle? Everything is made beautiful in time, and that no good thing is withheld. Therefore, that good thing, it will come. It will come in perfect time. And when it does, we're going to stand back in awe, and at that moment, we're going to know why it had to be then and not now. So my question is, will you join me in this movement? Will you subscribe? Will you share? Will you listen and support? Will you even be willing to tell your story, the good, the bad, the perseverance of your life, your story, your journey? That is the vision, the dream of this podcast. And I would love for you to come along with me on this journey. So please subscribe, because I'm so excited to get these incredible people involved. So excited to get you, the listener, involved, so we can have these conversations. Make sure to join our Facebook group. Hit us up on all our socials if you haven't already. It's free, it's fun, and you'll never forget it. Thanks for listening. And before we go, let's show some love. Show some love for your favorite podcaster and your favorite podcast, WSKY SkyRock Talk Radio, by leaving us a review, by liking us, following us, subscribing, and more importantly, sharing this episode. And let's rock it.